Hari Om. We'll chant from the beginning of this 15th chapter. Shri Bhagavan Vacha Urdhvamulamadash-shakham Ashvatham Prahuravyayam Chandansi yasya parnani Yastam Veda Savedavita Adhaschordhvam prasrutastasya shakhaah Guna pravruddha vishaya pravalaah Adhascha mulanyanu Karmanubandhini manushaloke Narupamasseha tathopalabhyate Nanto na chadir na cha sampratishtha Ashvathamenam suvirudhamulam Asangashastrena dridhena chitva Tatapadam tatparimargitavyam Yasmin gatana nivartanti bhuyah Tameva chadyam purusham prapadye Yata pravrutti prasruta purani Yata pravrutti prasruta purani So in this 15th chapter, again Bhagavan reveals the supreme truth about that supreme reality, about his own self, which is not different from us. He begins by describing this whole world as a tree, an inverted tree, with its roots above and the branches below. Above means that above that supreme truth, Brahman is as though above the root, and everything comes down from that, emerges from that Brahma alone. So Brahma is above. Just as the tree, ordinary tree, are rooted on earth, this tree is rooted in Brahma. But earth is down and Brahma is up. It depicted up because up means something higher, something greater, something sublime, more superior. So we call it up. So this whole tree, whole cosmos is like a tree. And again, if you analyze a tree, you will find that there is some matter in the tree and there is that life force in the tree. Even if you see a little seed, that seed is matter and life. That matter is very complex, but the intelligence is there in that life. If that life goes away, then that matter cannot express as a tree. So matter and life is like that, what we had seen in the previous chapter also, is like Prakriti and Purusha. ये थोड़ा सा इको है. So Prakriti and Purusha is like matter and that life. And we find that it is pervading the entire tree. Every part of the tree, if you see, it is made up of matter and life. Similarly, this entire cosmos is just a combination of Prakriti and Purusha. But instead of using the term Prakriti Purusha, Bhagwan is describing the whole thing here with this beautiful metaphor of a tree. So this tree, the whole cosmos, it is said in the scriptures that whatever is there in the cosmos is there in the individual also. So yatha pinde tatha brahmande, or yatha brahmande tatha pinde. So the individual is a replica of the total. So you find that this Urdhva Ashwatha tree, you can see it in your own body also. So the head is like the root, and all these branches are going down. Right? So the topmost portion is there, which is like the root. So its roots are above, and head is there. Then the arms are there, and the legs are there. They are like the branches going down. So what we are seeking in this world, if we want to find God in the world, we can seek God in our own body, in our own self. We will be able to comprehend God in our own self. So therefore this beautiful description of a tree is very interesting. Bhagwan says that though the world is described as a tree, but if you really try to find out its reality, it will disappear. He says that na rupam asya tatha iha upalabhyate, that the rupa of this world is not available as it is described here. As you try to investigate, it will disappear. Even about our own body, about our own senses, about our own mind, intellect, and the ego, if we try to investigate, if we try to find out the reality about it, it will just vanish, and the reality will be experienced as it is. It's like the rope and the snake. The snake we can describe in detail, but if we try to look at the snake, if we try to find out the reality about the snake, if you look at it closely, the snake will disappear and you will comprehend the rope there. Similarly, Bhagwan says that though this whole cosmos is described as a wonderful tree, but really speaking, it doesn't have a beginning, it doesn't have a middle, it doesn't have an end. The form is not available as it is. When we are not aware of ourselves, it appears to be there. But when we become aware and enlighten and realize ourselves, the world as it is seen now will not be seen. We will see everything as our own self. If you ask a realized master, what is this world? He will say this is all God only. Tulsidas ji says, Siya Ramamay Sava Jagajani, Vasudeva Sarvamiti. Everything is divine, everything is that Shiva only. But for an ignorant person, everything seems to be different, made up of matter, made up of different qualities. So this form as it is described is not available. So why it is described? This is described just to indicate that supreme truth, supreme reality. Because Bhagwan in the first verse itself, he mentioned that those who know this, they are the knowers of the Veda. Yastam Veda, sa Veda Vita. And the main theme of the Veda is to know the self. Later on also we will see that shloka. Vedascha sarvaihi aham eva vedyaha. In all the Vedas, aham itself has to be recognized, have to be known. Other is all details. Others are all different packing. Sometimes they have some tiny little watch or some object will be there, and the packing will be like anything. People give big gifts on birthday and all, you feel, arey wah, first class बड़ा gift आ गया है. When you open it, it's a big box. Then you open it, then some thermocol or something. Then you open, then you get a book, thick one, and you are the congratulations. You are the proud owner of this. Then you open, and then that tiny little thing will come out. Similarly, if you study the Vedas, lots and lots of things are there, but the main theme of all the Veda is to recognize my own self. Vedaischa sarvaihi aham eva vedyaha. One has to recognize one's own self through the Vedas. And how one should do it? Bhagavan gives 2-step program here. First step is Vairagya, and second step is to investigate, to seek with the attitude of surrender. So Vairagya and inquiry plus surrender. So Vairagya is first step which shifts our attention from the world. So Bhagavan says this world which you see, the world which you see here has to be, इसका आवाज ठीक करो भैया. So अश्वत्थमेनं सुविरूढ़मूलम असंग शस्त्रेण दृढ़ेन छित्वा. थोड़ा सा कम कर लो. So अश्वत्थमेनं सुविरूढ़मूलम असंग शस्त्रेण दृढ़ेन छित्वा. चलो ठीक है. So Bhagavan says this tree which is there, you cut it. Cut it means withdraw your attention from this tree with the weapon of asangata, of non-attachment. Non-attachment. See, non-attachment is different from detachment. Bhagavan doesn't say that you get detached from this world, but don't be attached. We will see what it is later on. So with the sword of non-attachment, you cut, you withdraw your attention from the world, and tatap padam tat parimargitavyam, and seek the source of this world, not outside, but within yourself. As I said, the tree which is there outside is here also. So seek the source from where all the activities have emerged in the beginning. Tameva chadyam purusham prapadde yata pravrutti prasruta purani. So in the Purani, in the good old days, all the pravrutti, all the activities from where it has emerged, it has started, you seek that. Good old days means we don't have to go into the past, but you can go into the present, deeper into the present, not going into the past. See, the technique of science is to go into the past. If they want to find out the source of this world, the cause of this world, they try to go into the past. Few centuries ago, what was there? Few million years ago, what was there? So many billion years ago, what was there? So they try to go into the past. Because the science has got this assumption that the cause of the world is in the past. This is an assumption. The assumption is the cause of the world is somewhere in the past. And spirituality says the cause is not in the past, it is in the present. But you have to go to the depth of the present. Just as science tries to go into the depth of the past, spirituality says you go into the depth of the present. Present is not as simple as it seems. When we are very superficial, we experience the present at the outer level, at the level of our senses. What we see, hear, taste, touch, the perception seems to be in the present moment. Suppose I am seeing something, it is in the present moment. The eyes are looking at this flower, this is happening in the present moment. But even this simple act of perceiving this flower is very deep. The eyes are looking at the flower, but what is happening behind the eyes? Behind the eyes, we have our mind. If the mind is not there, then you will not be able to see the flower, even when it is in front of you. Sometimes people are in front and their mind goes somewhere else. Even while reading, they read the book, but the mind goes elsewhere. Then they have to read the same paragraph. Even during pravachan, 1.5 hours of pravachan, but so many times the mind runs. Then it comes back. In between, we have to crack jokes to bring back the mind. Because everyone laughs, kya ho gaya? So when I look at the flower, it is the thing which is happening in the present moment. My eyes are looking at the flower. But is that all? Or is there more depth to it? My mind is also involved in it. My mind is looking at the flower through the eyes. But is it all? No, the intellect is also involved. Mind feels. See, flower is perceived by the eyes, but felt by the mind. When somebody gives you a flower with love, you look at it with your eyes, but you feel it with your mind. All flowers don't look same. When the flower which is offered to the Lord, when it is given to you, eyes will see it as flower, but the mind will feel the prasad. It will feel the devotion in it, the offering which was made to the Lord. Then again, behind the mind, we have the intellect. The intellect will judge. Intellect which will give commentary. The intellect will say that, okay, this flower is a prasad, or this flower is of this quality, or the intellect will try to name the flower. Then also the intellect, as it is judging the flower, it also activates our memory. Because to judge and to feel also, sometimes we use our memory. I had seen this flower last year also, and that person brought it to me. And then your mind goes, your thoughts goes into the past memory. So all this is happening in the present moment. So present moment is very deep. Then again, this mind, intellect functions because of consciousness. It cannot function without consciousness. Consciousness is the very support which supports the intellect, the mind, the senses to function. So consciousness is deeper. Consciousness is just conscious of all this. So the thinking which is happening in the intellect, I am conscious of it. The feeling which is happening in the mind, there is consciousness of it. The perception which is happening at the level of the senses, there is consciousness behind it. So consciousness is much deeper. So all these activities happen because of this consciousness. So when we go into the depth of the present moment, we will reach the pure consciousness. One is